What just happened? What's going to happen? What the fuck? I am big into college football. One of the first most watched videos that I did with live stream the College Selection Sunday in 2018. At the time, 1,500 viewers, a lot. And now, 5 years later, I have no idea what's going to happen here. It is utter chaos. And you want to think that there's certainty, but there's not. So, here's what happened. So, start with Friday night. You have Oregon losing, unfortunately, to Washington. I wanted Oregon, but I was okay with Washington. I would like Pac-12 to win the whole thing as the last hurrah. Just hoping that they get into the playoffs then. But then, because if Oregon would have won, it just still would have been some, speculation. But even if they would have won, there's still, I know that's already a lot there of, too many extra things happening. It just helps solidifies with Washington being higher ranked to keeping them that high. With then today, Texas won over Oklahoma State, and they won 49-21. They were up. Oh, geez, I have to do math here. 21 plus 14. They're up 35-14 at the half, and would score only 2 more times. SMU beat Tulane, so Tulane, I guess done. Liberty's going to go to the Year 6 Bowl. Cool. Sorry, it's late. This is just, again, insane of what's happening. And then the big game of what would happen if the underdog would win of Georgia versus Alabama happened. Georgia lost by 3, and there was a missed field goal in the game. I was at work, so I didn't see everything, but I saw that highlight. That was crazy. That was it's not what you want to happen, because then there's chaos because of that. And then the 2 games that wrapped up here that matter, evidently, of Michigan beating Iowa 26-0. Hold on. I'm sure that's okay. I want to remember 35.5 was the over under for the game, and I think Iowa has like so many back-to-back games of having under in betting for scoring and total points. Um, um, and then Florida State beat Louisville. Michigan was ranked second. Iowa was ranked 16. Louisville was ranked 14. Florida State was ranked 4th. So it's about the same amount of distance. Right? No, it's actually further. Never mind. But Florida State won 16-6. They were only up by 3 at the half. That's just weak. They scored a touchdown, then 2 more field goals in the second half. But the thing is, Florida State is perfect. Yes, I don't know exactly where to start. Let's, I guess, start in reverse order there. So at least I have no idea what's going on here because there's so much extra chaos going on. Safe teams: Washington and Michigan, and I want them to play in the Rose Bowl against each other. I don't exactly care about the seeding. I just care that they play in the Rose Bowl. That's all I want. That's all we all want. So if they have to be 2-3 or 1-4, and the committee is going to give dog shit answers. They don't know what they're talking about ever. Boo Corrigan or whoever the chairman is, he cannot give any answers other than something like a coach, like a dad would. It's terrible. They're terrible answers. When I was watching him this morning on College Game Day, just awful answers. You know, he's like, "Oh, well, we're rooting for good games. We don't want chaos." Like, well, you're gonna have to probably deal with it anyways. So just embrace it. I'm sure they were thinking of it, but you have to put on the face of, no, we can't say that. We just have to, play it neutral. Like, no, you can't. That's boring. So those are my I'd say two safe teams. After that, who knows what would happen? I mean, teams in play, technically: Georgia, Bama, Texas, Florida State. Ohio State is completely done. Oregon, nah, just I wish, but no. So here's the thing: Florida State is perfect, but they don't have their starting quarterback. They're like big, could have been Heisman quarterback. So that's huge. But they're still able to pull off 2 wins now, maybe 3 wins. And they did. They struggled a little bit with Florida, but they did win by 9 points. This North Alabama game, that was a late cakewalk game for them because they did decide. I mean, their impressive win is over LSU at the beginning of the season. And they did also beat Duke, who was the only other ranked regular season ACC opponent. But, granted, Florida State beat LSU handedly. That was nearly by double points, 45-24. So that was huge. Granted, that was also with Jordan Travis. Daniels was on LSU. But then you also have the fact of Georgia losing in the SEC championship, and they were number 1. But you kind of have to note conference championships, and that would mean that would mean, um, sorry, I'm trying to keep track of the TV here. I'm sorry. I'm just let me start over here. This is too much going on here. I'm trying to just go right off the top of my head, top of the head here. Um, Bama lost to, oh, because Georgia, you have to respect the conference championships. That Bama did win the championship, and they beat head to head with Georgia in the last game of the season, technically, before the playoffs. But Bama also lost to Big 12 champion now Texas, beat them by 10. Um, so it's not like impressive double digit score like um, and well, also at the time, uh, Bama was number 3, Texas was 11, and Texas was on the road too. Um, no, I miss Bear on the on College Game Day. I mean, you have to kind of like nitpick here with these different games. Then like both Florida State and Texas had scored 21 points in a quarter of respected games that they won over the top 5 team. But again, I want to say style point goes to Texas because they're on the road. You just gotta give them points there. I mean, it's easy to win at home because they have, said home field advantage. But yeah, I mean, but then again, you have the idea of, well, we'll put Bama ahead of Texas. Like, no, Texas did lose a game, but they lost to Oklahoma at home. So, I mean, that one, but they only lost by 4. That was a kind of a rough game, especially early on. I think it took until like the last play, like Texas like almost had it, but it just turned into Oklahoma win. And then Georgia, of course, not they're perfect in the regular season, but championships matter. So, I mean, and the coach, they're throughout the regular season, they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna take it one game at a time." I'm like, I'm sure that's like a good answer for TV. But I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, there was one where it showed Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama in that order. And I'm almost going with that. Like, with Selection Sunday, probably by the time you're watching this today or yesterday, this is a big reason why next year is going to the 12-team format, because it's going to really help with all this bullshit going on. And this is no fault of like any team. This is the fault of the initial idea of the committee when it was given 4 teams instead of what should have been 6, but some people proposed 8. I would have said 6 because that gave, essentially every conference champion an automatic bid plus an at-large bid. So that would have made things easy. I mean, 8. I mean, people talk about the dilution of the meaning then of the season. I mean, like, oh, we just might as well let everyone else in. But I don't really think so, because now we're going to 12, which I think 12 is quite a bit. I mean, I would have said 6 for sure. 8 would be kind of the max, I would think, at 12. But it does give those top 4 teams like a bye week in that way. But yeah, this is just pure chaos. So I have no idea what's going to happen. And my instinct is to say that the committee is going to get it wrong tomorrow. It's just my instinct, because it's just easy to blame the committee. In years past, that they're just clueless. So I don't know. I mean, of course, no one wants Bama. No one likes Bama except for Bama. And the SEC commissioner, he was on College Game Day earlier, today. He was just so arrogant. I mean, I get it. You gotta talk about, pep up your teams, but the way the language he was trying to use was almost like trying to say, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but just it sounded like he was like, well, it doesn't matter if Texas wins their game, the championship. The SEC just means more. He quoted Sesame Street. He's like, one is not like the other. It's like, stop talking. No one's gonna understand Sesame Street for the SEC, because no one knows how to count down there in the South. It's like, I'm sure, and even when they were like showing like, what if we had the 12 team playoffs now, what it would look like, like, yeah, it's got 4 SEC teams in the first round there already, or 4 total. It's like, shut up. It just sounded so arrogant and egotistical that I'm sure if he was given more time, he could have probably gone to bat and say Vanderbilt could beat any other of these championship conference teams. It's just, he was such an asshole. So I don't know. I mean, and then there's the idea of deserving and earned. I mean, like, with Florida State, I mean, if Florida State still had their, all-star quarterback in Jordan Travis, it might make things a little easier. Maybe not. Or if they would have, won a little bit more convincingly, maybe. But I still think that the problem of Alabama and Texas winning their conferences with their previous matchup, that all of a sudden the SEC commissioner is like, well, ever since that loss, Bama's been doing pretty good. Like, yes. You have to take the whole resume. You can't just be like, oh, well, we're going to be like baseball and use these stats like, oh, ever since let's say it's July 8th. You can't be, and I've seen this plenty of times in baseball, and they will say, well, ever since June 16th, the Red Sox have the best batting average in the American League East at home in night games. They keep making like since this date, of course in baseball there's 162 games in a season. With football, it seems a little bit more linear in a way. You can go like a week by week and actually like have separation, but still, you can't be like, oh well, let's use this stat, these ever since this date, this cut line, to make us look good. No, just no. I won't be able to do a live stream tomorrow for it. I wish I could, because by the time that they get this all through and probably do the reveals, it starts at 11 o'clock my time, and I'll be at work at about 11:30, so it'll be tough to do a live stream like this or do one. Um. Mhm. So it will be bonkers tomorrow. That's what's just gonna be bonkers. So I don't know. I don't know tomorrow. I'm hoping that Washington then wins the whole thing. But I did buy a Oregon hat going into the this for Cyber Monday deal, Black Friday weekend deal. I did buy an Oregon hat, and I feel like that might have helped with my curse of when teams are going into the postseason, or in the postseason, they lose when I buy their hats. And Oregon were favorites. That's the other thing. Oregon was a favorite by quite a bit. Money line was plus 300 for Washington. That's not good. That's not good. Well, I mean, for Washington initially, but you saw how it ended. So I don't know, man. This is just So hopefully someone can gift me a Washington hat for Christmas to support the Huskies there. I do want to get, because this is essentially the last Pac-12 championship, because the Pac-12 is breaking up and everyone's going into their different new conferences. Big Ten is gaining 4, Washington, Oregon, USC, and UCLA, UCLA. I call it UCLA. It's easier that way. So the other team. I mean, there's only 2 teams remaining technically. I think it's Washington State and Oregon State. So, in this summer, that's when everything kind of shit the bed. So it's sad. So those hats are gonna be rare items, which I will want, but paying $43 effing dollars for a trucker hat from Zephyr? No. I will not. But the other problem then is they're going to go up in price probably on eBay. I mean, let me give you an example. I got Oppenheimer here. Finally, when this released out, they sold out super fast. The Steelbooks for the summer blockbuster, the Steelbooks, normal price about $35. They were going anywhere from $60 to $200 on eBay. If I look it up right now, yeah, I mean 62 is the first one I'm seeing, and then 150 for the next one, and then one that thinks it's a steel book but it's not is 60. Yeah, I really wish I would have gotten the steel book when I was there at work. Oh well, didn't know I would sell it this fast. I should have known, but I just didn't. So, so that, yeah, this, who's in your college football CFP. This is just, who knows what's going on. Leave me a comment in the description down below. I don't know at what point you're going to see this video. Where was your like top 4 or your ideas right, your selection right? Did they get it? Did the selection committee get it right? How much did they get it wrong by? Is more likely the question. Just leave general thoughts. But yeah, it was also just sad in general that it's also the last year. I want to say last year of the SEC on CBS, and I mean that a lot of the stuff. I mean, at least in my age group, kind of grew up with and felt normal, and that won't be normal. The conferences are realigning to shit. Losing some of these, broadcasting, not just like, where you watch, but like also like who's on those crews makes it a big difference too. So, especially Vern Lundquist, Jim Nantz for CBS, huge. Yeah, so it's all sad, but yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about the end of normalcy and how you're coping with all of that. But yeah, I will see you all the next time then. So thanks for spending this half hour of me just droning on and on. So toodles, class is dismissed. Bye everyone.